1 week ago, Joe Gibbs took his first strides at FedEx Field, but his offense was marked with missteps. The coaching staff supplied sideline instructions and then realized there are still many lessons left to be learned. Positively speaking, some of the tackling was special, and some came in quite a rush. Tonight in Miami, Mark Brunell loosens up with plans to be the Redskins' leading man. There's a wave of excitement in the air. Good reason to be fired up about the Dolphins and the Redskins next. The Redskins Broadcast Network presents preseason football. Tonight, live from Pro Player Stadium in Miami, Florida, it's the Washington Redskins and the Miami Dolphins. Good evening from a sultry Miami. Warm, you're going to be in shape tonight. But I don't know about you. The question on my mind is, whether the offense, is it going to get going ever? Is this a chicken or an egg proposition? Is it the quarterbacks who are unable to do what Joe Gibbs wants them to do? Or is it Joe Gibbs making things so vanilla the quarterbacks can't do anything exceptional? Well, let's turn to our offensive mind here. Jeff Bostic, what do you think?
Chicken or the egg, huh? It's an interesting concept. I think it's a little bit of both. I think the offense is very watered down in the preseason, as you would expect from Joe Gibbs. And the other thing, your quarterbacks really aren't playing that well. Maybe that's because you don't have a full complement of your offensive packages. Talking about how the quarterbacks played, last week the offense was out of sync from the start. Patrick Ramsey had a tough outing. Mark Brunell had moments where he looked better. Ramsey did do some good things. You know, sat in the pocket. This kid is a tough guy. Gets tattooed, throws the ball downfield, Coles with the big catch. The thing about Brunell, I think he's got a leg up on the starting job. You know, he had his problems. Pass protection breaks down. Gibbs does not like to see the football on the ground, doesn't like to see the interceptions. He does like to see this. 61-yarder to McCants. I think Brunell, having been in the league for 11 years, has the upper hand as who's going to start this season.
Patrick Ramsey doesn't look that comfortable yet.
Patrick Ramsey looks like he's struggling a little bit, and I think he's pressing. 27 quarterback rating, not exactly what you want to look at. For combined, 14 for 42, 211 yards, 1 touchdown, and 4 interceptions. Not good numbers.
Mark Brunell is going to be the starter tonight. It's exciting for him because he's returning to Florida where he got famous, and he'll get to start. For Brunell, it's also exciting because he's like the new guy in town, and in some ways, this is all new to him.
The new terminology, the new concepts that we have, some things are similar to what other teams do across the league. A lot of things are different, so I'm excited about that. It's always fun to even after 11 years in the NFL, to be learning and learning new concepts and philosophies, and so I'm thrilled to be here. It's a great opportunity.
All right, let's turn now to something that's your favorite thing, the running game. Clinton Portis, 1,500-yard rusher. His longest run so far is 9 yards. What's going on?
His longest run is 9 yards. They've had 3 running plays. We're going to get another one tonight.
Really?
We're going to run a sweep. Clinton Portis will get outside tonight.
Heart be still.
We're adding our 4th play. You know, these aren't the type of numbers we're used to seeing from Clinton Portis. He doesn't have the whole package in. I've told people, offense is trying to be successful in a Joe Gibbs game plan is like playing solitaire with 34 cards. You just can't win. He's got some good help backing him up. Betts, who is not here, can't make the club in the tub. Cartwright, 1 fumble, hurt him a little bit. Big contributor on special teams. McCullough had a big run last week. And the guy we haven't seen, Chad Morton, a 4-yard career average. Give him the ball more.
Well, if you've been listening closely, you've probably already analyzed that the only thing we've talked about so far is offense. Let's talk a little defense. And for that, let's go down to the sidelines where our Kelly Johnson is standing by. Kelly?
Hey, Frank. Well, top draft pick Sean Taylor is obviously extremely happy to be here in Miami. He grew up here. He played college ball at the University of Miami. And perhaps he can also see into the future. Earlier this week, I asked him if he thought he'd be in the starting lineup at free safety by the time the season starts. He told me I would hope it would be a lot sooner than that. I'm going down to Miami this week. We'll see, but it's up to the coaches. Well, the coaches have made a decision, putting Taylor in the starting lineup, replacing Andre Lotta, free safety. It will be his first NFL start. And, of course, when I asked him also about the expectations, well, he stoked the fires there in that Hall of Fame game with 2 picks and, of course, a touchdown return and then a strip in last week's game against Saturday. But he said the adjustment has not been hard. The speed of the game is what he's still learning. Frank?
Thank you, Kelly. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 Washington Redskins are not here tonight because of nagging injuries. Miami Dolphins, it's even worse. 21 players missed practice on Wednesday. The starting right corner tonight is a guy who was signed as a free agent off waivers on Thursday.
Can you say welcome to Miami in a hurry?
Jeff, talk about your keys to the Redskins winning this game.
I think your Geico keys. Number one, we must get improved quarterback play. We talked about it in the open. And you can't keep stressing over this. One of these quarterbacks, either Brunell or Ramsey, need to step up and take control. And I say, play Gibbs football. You say, what is that? Big thing, this problem right now. 20 penalties in 2 games, 4 interceptions, 5 fumbles, 1 lost. The other one, get the offense in a groove. Let's be able to start having some positive yards running the football, put drives together. Last week against Carolina in the first half, 7 possessions, 5 drives with 3 or less plays.
Jeff, how much should we expect the starters to play tonight in this game?
Talked to Joe Bugle before the game. They plan on starting their offenses for somewhere in the vicinity of 2 to 2.5 quarters. You're going to get a good test, and you mentioned it early. It's hot down here. This will be a test. This will be an endurance thing, a good conditioning, and I think Coach Gibbs and their staff will get a pretty good feeling. We'll get a pretty good feeling as to where they are officially as far as fitness and all those other good things.
The logo is tail.
Coin toss is going on at the center of the field. The referee tonight is Walt Anderson. He's conducting that.
Tails is the call.
Redskins call tails.
It is heads. Miami has won the toss. They want to receive. Which way do you want to kick? Kick that way? Very good.
Well,
Miami
this is going to be interesting.
We'll receive.
We'll get to see the rookie draft pick, #1 draft pick, Sean Taylor, right off the bat. Greg Williams, the defensive coordinator, said this week, I got to get this guy in a situation where we can teach him a little humility. The game is too easy for him.
And he talked about this, and one thing he says, I would love to see a wide receiver blow his doors off. And I was kind of shocked by that.
Yeah.
And he said, well, he has no respect for any of the receivers. The only receiver that we have at camp that scares him a little bit is Coles. Now, it's a scary combination when you're 6'2", 230 pounds, and running the 4.3 range. Something is genetically not right there.
Mark Brunell getting ready to go. His counterpart tonight, the starter for 1 quarter, will be A.J. Feely. And talk about the dilemma for the Dolphins. Everybody knows Ricky Williams quit football, just walked away. He submitted his retirement papers, and the Dolphins want $8.5 million in bonus money back from him. They have submitted the papers for that. But Feely was acquired from the Philadelphia Eagles for a 2nd-round draft pick. Why? Because he's mobile, got a strong arm, and they thought he would complement and make Ricky Williams a better runner. Now Ricky Williams is gone. And now they got a starting quarterback who's only got 5 starts in his career.
And the other thing we can touch on, their leading receiver, David Boston, gone for the year, knee injury.
John Hall will kick off tonight. He has spent 3 days here in Florida. His parents' home in Ponte Verde, Florida, was hit by the hurricane, lost the roof. Joe Gibbs said family comes first. John was allowed to come down and help his dad put the roof back on the house, and then he returned to Redskins Park 2 days ago. There's our kick. We're underway. From the 6-yard line. Oh, there's a good special teams hit. Lamar Marshall down there, the first man to make the hit. We've got a flag down on the field, only a 16-yard return.
It doesn't take long for the flags to come
Holding,
out.
number 33, return team, 10-yard penalty, still first down.
So the Dolphins move back. The Redskins defense is on the field first, and I'm happy to tell you the defensive front looks like it's intact. Reagan Upshaw, the only change there, will start at right defensive end in place of Philip Daniels. The linebackers, Lamar Marshall filling in for LeVar Arrington, who did not make the trip. Antonio Pierce in the middle for Kevin Mitchell, and Marcus Washington on the outside. In your secondary, Springs, Bowens, Taylor, the rookie, and Fred Smoot. First down, Dolphins from their own 12. They'll try the run. out to the 16-yard line. Travis Minor with his first carry, and it'll be a gain of 4 to set up 2nd and 6.
How would you like to be Travis Minor about a month ago? Knowing you're coming in, you're going to back up Ricky Williams.
Right.
For his career, Frank, he's carried the ball 144 times. Last year, Ricky Williams carries it 383 times. You're filling those shoes.
This is a 3 wide receiver set now on 2nd down. But again, they'll go with a run. And again, short, 3 yards. It'll be 3rd down and about 3.
You know the guy I really feel sorry for in this whole situation? Dave Weinstead, the head coach. So much of your planning during the offseason and what you're going to do during the year are who your people are. Who are the guys who are going to be the key contributors? Who's going to be your studs? And Ricky Williams was that guy.
Right.
And then you go a week before camp and Ricky says, you know what? I think I'd rather go off to Italy or somewhere and, you know, smoke pot or what. It's just ridiculous.
Miami's newest receiver, Antonio Freeman, is flanked out right there at the top of your screen. He wears number 4. And he caught the pass. Nope, excuse me. That was Chambers on the pass. Antonio Freeman signed last week. They had no more 80 numbers left. He didn't want to wear a number in the teens, so he picked number 4 in tribute to his old friend Brett Favre of the Packers.
I wonder if he's going to start the leap. What would they call that? The pro player leap?
The wall looks a little higher here than it does at Lambeau Field in Green Bay. That would be a leap. 1st down for Miami. And again, the run on 1st down. And again, 4 yards on 1st down. That's Antonio Pierce, the middle linebacker.
Probably the most versatile linebacker the Redskins have. The ability to play both strong and weak side linebacker. Really surprised that he's able to stand in there in the middle. Not a big guy, you know, 6'1", 240. I remember a couple of teammates watching. See, got fooled at first. Then he gets in there and fills the hole.
If he has a problem, it's the fact that he overreacts sometimes, has a bit of a temper, and can get silly penalties. Again, the run inside, and it's tough going this time, no gain. The ball at the Miami 31-yard line, where it'll be 3rd down now and 6 yards.
This is where you're Greg Williams. You'd really like to see the pass pressure, you know, collapse the pocket up front with guys like Griffin. But you'd really like to see, here comes your little blitz. Watch your corner and see if he brings a corner cat here.
All right. 3 wide receiver set.
Here it comes.
Yep. There's the sack. Oh, there's the blitz. Beautiful job. Antonio Pierce.
We've got a late flag. Very late flag in the secondary, and they're looking at Sean Taylor.
Greg Williams looking intently. Let's see what the referee says.
While the quarterback was in the pocket, illegal contact, number 36, defense. 5-yard penalty, 1st down.
Uh-oh, rookie. That's just what Greg Williams wanted, right?
Illegal contact. And this flag was so late, I cannot imagine. Sean Taylor was about 15 yards deep. I can't fathom that contact happened before the sack.
That quick, yeah. I agree with you.
We talked about playing Gibbs football. This is one where your defense should be on the bench right now, and your offense is getting ready to take possession. What do? You give them a 1st down.
We're 3 minutes into the game. The Dolphins have moved the ball from their own 12 out to their 37. Feely got time and got the completion. Nice catch keeping the ball and his feet inbounds. Chris Chambers, who's playing with a sore hamstring tonight and did not play last week. That's a 17-yard gain.
Good job of play action. You know, the thing is, when you run the ball, watch what it does. You got Springs over on an island. Chambers does a good job. And you see young receivers catch the ball with your hands. Good job using his hands, keeping his feet in bounds. Big target.
Feely not looking bad so far, Jeff. He came into the game with a rating of 59.4, which is pretty mediocre. He's going to pass again with a 1st down and a wobble ball way out of bounds.
Can you say Billy Kilmer? Did that bring back memories?
Kilmer twitched a little.
I think we would be remiss, Frank. I'm going to take the chance right now to thank you for what you did for Redskin Radio for 25 years.
Oh, thank you. That's nice of you.
The players, the fans, and everybody, I'm sure, that was fortunate enough to hear some of the calls that you made in that quarter of a century. Certainly memorable. I had the great opportunity to play in 14 years while you did the radio, and I certainly appreciate it.
Thank you very much, Jeff. That's kind of it. It was a great time and great memories.
4 Super Bowls, buddy. We remember them, huh?
Oh, boy. All right, Feely's going to pass again on 2nd down this time, and he's got a completion again. Up quickly on the hit was Fred Smoot. A 5-yard gain that time with Darius Thompson.
You know, you have to love a guy like Fred Smoot. You know, he's athletic arrogance would probably be the best way to describe the guy.
Now, if the name Darius Thompson rings a bell, it should. Last year at this time, he led the Redskins in receiving. Steve Spurrier decided to let him go, and Miami claimed him in a New York minute. 3 wide receivers on this 3rd down and 5 play. It's the 9th play of the drive for the Miami Dolphins, the opening play of the game. Quick slant. We got a fumble. And guess who's in there? 36, Sean Taylor, the rookie. He caused the fumble. He recovered the ball. And the officials were still waiting here to get a signal. Redskins offense is coming on the field.
This guy is going to be a game changer.
Running on the field. Catch, fumble, recovered by Washington, 1st down.
There you go.
That's
First
a pretty simple explanation.
Timeout.
Catch, step, fumble. Big play by, look at 36. Sticks his helmet right on the football, separates ball from receiver, and picks it up. I would really have liked to have seen him get out in the open field and run.
Greg Williams says the game's too easy for him. You know, that doesn't bother me a bit. No score in the football game. We do have our first turnover, and the Redskins have the ball. No score. Preseason football on the Redskins Broadcast Network is brought to you by FedEx. Go air, go ground, go football. FedEx, proud sponsor of the Washington Redskins and FedEx Field. And by Bank of America, the official bank sponsor of the Washington Redskins. Bank of America, higher standards. And by Dominion, the official energy partner of the Washington Redskins. And brought to you by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. Joe Bugle on the left, Joe Gibbs on the right, the brain trust.
Joe Bugle told me that the starters are going to go about 2.5 quarters tonight.
Well, here's Mark Brunell, the starter, with 3 receivers in this formation. Kozlowski's the man in motion, and we got a flag. Clint Portis gets the first run out to about the 42.
Junior Seau. You should know better, Junior. You can't line up in the neutral zone.
The field here is natural grass, but it's a baseball infield because of the Florida Marlins.
Offside, number 55, defense, 5-yard penalty, still 1st down.
One of the Redskins staffers before the game walked on the field and looked at me and described the conditions as concrete and kitty litter. Right now, they just got past the kitty litter. Brunell, last season, you see the numbers there in Jacksonville.
As a player, you hate playing in that stuff. Offensive lineman, and we were down on the field before the game. That is like a fine gravel. So if you fall on that stuff, part of your skin will stay there.
It's very sharp. The stones are very sharp. Brunell's first play from scrimmage here with a pass. Gee, he had all day, and there you go, down to the 41-yard line of the Dolphins. But looks like Coles is going to get up slowly. Got hit pretty good.
Tremendous job by the offensive line. Anytime the run action, see how it freezes a linebacker. No underneath coverage right there. This is like picking chickens. When a quarterback of any NFL caliber has this much time to stand in the pocket, someone will be open.
Coles is up, coming off the field now. Get a little rest. An 18-yard gain on that play. There's no score in this preseason game between the Dolphins and the Redskins. 1 turnover. It was caused by Sean Taylor, and he recovered the fumble he caused. Portis on the run. And there's just nothing there, is there? Offensive starters for the Redskins tonight along that front. The backs and receivers, Portis, Kozlowski, the H-back. The tight end is Walter Rasby. Gardner and Coles, the starting wide receivers. There's your offensive line: Samuels, Dockery, Friedman, Thomas, and Kenyatta Jones. Joe Bugle likes him so far and how he's doing. Brunell now with 2nd and 10. It's Portis, and here comes your sweep.
Here comes my play.
Look out. Inside the 20, down to the 16.
I told you we had a new play.
Folks, he's standing up. What do you like about this?
I'll tell you what, that's where you have to utilize a guy like Clinton Portis. I was speaking to Joe Bugle yesterday afternoon. Watch this, guys. This is the old Green Bay thing. Watch number 77. 77 and 66. How would you like to have those guys out there leading? This looks like the old Green Bay sweep. Now, what Clinton has to do, wait on Randy. He's blocking for you. You can't run in front of him. 23-yard gain.
1st and 10 Redskins deep in Dolphin territory at the 17. 8 minutes left to go, first quarter.
I promised you a new play. I promised you a new play.
You delivered. Congratulations. 20 seems to be the magic number for the Redskins so far in this preseason. They've scored 20 points in both games. The defense has allowed a total of 40 points.
The other thing, look at big number 66. Joe Bugle told me, he says, Derek Dockery is going to be something special. And I said, as good as Grimm, as good as Jacoby, says, could be better.
Really? Well, he didn't do bad on that last game. Portis is the lone back this time. 2 wide receivers and an H-back in motion. That's Kozlowski. Portis right to the 5 and stop there, but that's enough for a first down. Redskins in scoring position. 9 yards. Reggie Howard on the stop.
This is a good job of blocking up front. Now, Miami is short. 2 cornerbacks are out of the game. One of their big defensive tackles, Bowen's out. But this is what you like to see if you're Gibbs and Redskins fans. You're able to run the ball. You're doing the tough things right.
Offense already looks sharper than it did a week ago.
They're in a groove. We talked about a groove the last couple of weeks, and now they're in one. 4 carries for 35 yards. Yeah, we like that.
Well, let's see if they can do something down here on the goal line. They haven't gone to their jumbo yet. It's a regular offensive set. Portis is just going to get a yard and have to stretch to get that.
You think Lavernius Coles doesn't want that one-on-one matchup with Jimmy Wyrick? The corner signed last Monday.
Signed last Monday, and the other one, Eric Joyce, was claimed off waivers on Thursday.
This is the type of drive, if you're an offensive player, you do not want to settle for a field goal attempt. You want to punch that thing in the end zone and get your 7 points.
7th play of a drive that started at the Redskin 37-yard line. No score in the game. I'm Frank Herzog, along with Jeff Bostic, Pro Player Stadium in Fort Lauderdale. Fumble, and he recovered it. We got a flag down at the same time. Sort it all out, referee.
I think Miami has got somebody in the neutral zone again.
Offside, number 96, defense. Half the distance to the goal, still 2nd down.
That's defensive end David Bowens.
I never understood how defensive linemen can line up in the neutral zone. I mean, you've got the ball right there, right?
All they have to do is look.
I mean, that's almost inexplainable to me.
Joe Gibbs will call in the play here with the headset. That's something new for him. He didn't have before. They used the old hand signals. He said what every other coach in the league says, 15 seconds isn't enough time. Now the jumbo offense is in. 3 tight ends. Portis remains the deep back, and he gets the call. Push and shove, and he's down near the goal line.
See, I don't agree with the call here. This is a guy that is more on the edge.
You know why they're doing this? They want to get your offensive linemen fired up. They want to build their confidence. Guys, we know you can do it. You get it into the end zone, and you're a great line.
Can you imagine the difference in the mentality of Spurrier's offensive line, mostly with the same people,
right?
And this one under Gibbs and Joe Bugle?
We would have seen finesse with Spurrier. There's no doubt about that. That's the kind of coach he wants. Essentially the same formation and essentially the same play. And there's your first score of the night, Portis. So they convert the turnover that was created by the rookie Sean Taylor. They drive all the way down the field and they take the lead in the ball game.
And this is what Gibbs is big on. One of the team goals that we had back in the Gibbs era one. How many touchdown drives do you have of 60 yards or more? This one was a 63-yard drive. Look at the right guard, Randy Thomas. Tremendous push-up. Look at him. patting the running back. This is what you like to see.
Yeah.
Offensive linemen excited for the success of their running back.
Extra point time. John Hall will kick it. Tom Tupa, the punter, is the holder. And we got a flag on the kick. We'll sort this one out for you. In the meantime, we'll tell you that drive, the Redskins went 63 yards in 8 plays.
12 men, defense. The try is good. 5 yards will be assessed on the kickoff. Timeout.
Clinton Portis scores the first touchdown of his career as a Washington Redskin. And the Redskins have got a 7-0 lead. We've got 4 minutes, 52 seconds left in the first quarter.
Back to Pro Player Stadium. I'm Kelly Johnson. Everyone knows this Dolphins defense is good. One of those guys is Junior Seau, who Marcus Washington, linebacker for the Redskins, of course, has followed his entire career. He said, just watching game film of that guy gets me pumped up to go out and practice all day. Frank, back to you.
Kelly, it has warmed, it has cooled off up here. What's it like down there? Is it still hot and muggy?
It's still very humid. The temperature's gone down, but very, very muggy.
All right, good. Thank you.
You know, something Kelly can check on. I just witnessed Sean Springs leaving the field with one of the trainers. Didn't see the injury, but maybe we can follow that.
Here comes the Redskins kickoff. Fred Russell is going to take it, bobble it. Watch out. That's when usually you break a big one. That time he didn't. Guys on special teams are the guys trying hard to make this football team. If they can make plays on special teams, they'll have a chance of making the 53-man roster. Todd France helped himself right there. 7-0 Redskins lead. You know football? Go to www.redskins.com and sign up for the Chevrolet Redskins Home Team Challenge today. The Chevrolet Redskins Home Team Challenge is the only fantasy football league where you can play weekly and win great prizes like authentic Redskins merchandise, tickets to an upcoming Redskins game, or even a trip for 2 to Super Bowl 39 in Jacksonville. The Chevrolet Redskins Home Team Challenge is free, so sign up today. Here come the Dolphins on first down. Feely's still the quarterback. There's the run again on first down, and the Redskins say they've got the ball. They're certainly happy. I don't think they've got the ball. He only got 1 yard on the run.
You see Matt Bowen making the big hit. Also think we probably need to address that Ifeanyi Oolete was released earlier, and we talked to Greg Williams last week, and he said, you know, we've got 4 or 5 good safeties, and a couple of blown mental assignments, I think, last week on coverage really spelled his doom. He's back in work. He's in Arizona, got a job, so
he's always been prone to gamble, and he got burned on last week. Feely to pass. Nope, he's not going to pass. He's going to get sacked. Second one tonight. Marcus Washington this time. A 6-yard loss. So now they're back at their own 6-yard line.
I don't understand how the Indianapolis Colts can let a guy with this kind of talent get away from their football team. 6'3", 250 pounds, runs like a gazelle, and just makes plays all over the field. The other thing I don't understand, how are you going to sit in the pocket and not pick up a blitz? I mean, your quarterback is certainly not going to block him.
Guys, give me some help here. Well, he's going to be standing very close to his own goal line now. Greg Williams told me earlier this week he thinks the guys on defense have bought into his system now because they're naturally aggressive people, and that's what kind of a defense he runs.
Oh, my God.
Almost picked off again. That time.
I think it hit Matt Bowen's hands when it popped into the air.
Well, Marcus Washington had his hand in there, too. Going to set up a punt for the Dolphins, so now their second drive is going to have to be a punt by Matt Turk deep in his own end zone.
We mentioned it last week. The way that they played against Carolina, offensively, defensively, the first half was not the way Gibbs and staff would have liked to have seen the game go. This is more like it. A click on offense and really doing a good job defensively.
Here's Chad Morton waiting for the punt. You saw his numbers from last year, 19 returns. This is a great Turk punt. Ooh, hit that high. Morton just can't break it loose. For the Dolphins, Tony Bua on the stop. A 46-yard punt, a loss of 2 on the return. Redskins offense will take over next, and they lead this preseason game 7-0. Mark Alan Brunell, Redskins starting quarterback tonight. California boy, born in Los Angeles, grew up in Santa Maria, went to the University of Washington. Then, of course, the Jacksonville Jaguars is where he starred. Three-time Pro Bowler, 96, 97, and 99. MVP in 96. Had a season where he passed for 4,367 yards to lead the National Football League. And he also threw 20 interceptions. He's the quarterback with first down at the 46. Chad Morton, no, that's Rock Cartwright on the run. And he's into Dolphin territory at their 47.
You saw Miami's middle linebacker, Zach Thomas, try a run through. Lenny Friedman got a piece of him. When you gamble and try and run through, you either make the play or you give up something big. 5-yard gain.
Are you surprised to see Lenny Friedman still starting at center instead of Corey Raymer?
I am surprised, and I asked Joe Bugle, I said, are you pretty set with your offensive line now that you've got, you know, getting over the injury with Jansen, trying to fill that line? He says, yeah, I'm pretty solid with the guys I've got right now.
Cartwright with a big hole up the middle, inside the 40 to the 39. Joe Gibbs said this week, you know, these preseason games, we shouldn't overstate their importance. The practices are very important as well, how a player does. And folks, I'll tell you, imagine going to work where they videotape you as you prepare your job. They videotape your practice and evaluate it before you even do something at work.
And players at this level, Frank, you get used to being filmed, critiqued, graded every day. It's not an easy job. It's not for everybody.
There's Cartwright again, and that time he gets knocked back for a loss. I was wondering, he said they grade everything that happens in practice, then they grade you in the preseason games. So tell me, Jeff, you went through this. What was the grade? Did you know what your grade was? Would they give you like a 92? You'd say, Jeff, you got an A-?
You would not get a number.
No.
But on your grade sheets, there would be each play, each formation, and there'd be a comment. And if there were a negative comment, you know you had a bad play. But on the flip side, it's a great block
right there.
He's coaching all the time.
And so you always know how you're doing on a team.
Believe me, if you've got Joe Bugle as a coach, you don't have to ask how you're doing. He will tell you.
Incompletion is the rule. So then, if they make a change, if you lose your job, there's never any surprise. You'll probably have a good idea it's coming.
Oh, yeah. There was one time that didn't happen that I really don't want to go into.
Okay. I won't ask.
Most of the time you know when it will happen.
There's Ernest Biner on the sideline. Talk about an enthusiastic running back coach. Talking to Rock Cartwright. Likes what he says. He'll go back against it. Yeah, okay.
That was a tough little running back when he played.
I'll tell you what. It's too bad that one play mars his reputation. Everybody says, oh, they remember the fumble in Cleveland. Listen, that guy was tremendous.
False start, number 80, offense, 5-yard penalty, still third down.
False start. Now, Joe Gibbs is not going to be happy about that at all, Lavernius Coles. He's not happy about it either. Look at Gibbs. Now what are we going? Puts his head down.
Now you see that paper that he's looking at. It's got the formations, it's got the motions, it's got the running plays. And believe me, when he gets to September 12th, it's going to be a lot more paperwork.
Brunell to pass. Third down and long. Incomplete. Out of bounds. John Simon really didn't have a chance at that one. So this drive doesn't go as well for Mark Brunell. Redskins are going to have to punt. Tom Tupa will come in to do those chores. Gibbs usually lets a quarterback come off the field, relax for a second, catch his breath, maybe get a drink of water or Gatorade on the sidelines, and later he'll come over and sit down with him and talk about what went wrong, what went right, what's working, and what they want to change. Tupa to punt. His kick is a big one. Bounces into the end zone. It'll be a touchback for the Miami Dolphins. A 48-yard punt. The Redskins take their opening drive on a turnover, drive 63 yards for a score, and that's been the only score. 7-0 Washington. The Redskins defense is back on the football field. We see an interesting little battle going on tonight, or the hints of it anyway, at middle linebacker. where Antonio Pierce got the start and has played pretty solidly so far.
You have to wonder, if you're Kevin Mitchell, what's your future with this football team? You realize you're just a few weeks away from getting down to the numbers. And another guy that I saw before the game, you know, stretching and warming up, that you have to wonder what his future is Clifton Smith. There's a lot of decisions that are going to be made the next 2 or 3 weeks. And that's why that's the importance of the preseason game, is showing your goods.
A.J. Feely brings them out. Third drive in the best field position the Dolphins have had all night long, their own 20. And Feely, you see there, shows off that running ability. Got a 5-yard run there.
He showed off his intelligence by sliding. Marcus Washington went right over top of his head. One thing I didn't understand in the A.J. Feely signing, you had a quarterback in Jay Fiedler that all he does is win. He has won 36 games and lost 17 as a starter. 68% winning percentage. And among quarterbacks with at least 50 starts, that's the best in the league.
You know, the fans here, the word I get is the fans here just don't like him. And when I asked why, the first answer I got was, well, he's the guy that took over for Dan Marino. So he obviously starts in the hole.
Well, let me say this. No one will replace Dan Marino. When I started going through their media guide, and I told you this earlier, Dan Marino passed for how many 300-yard games? And I've got a couple guesses. Somebody said 25, 30. 63 300-yard games. 63 of them.
There he is. And his name is up here along with his numbers. 420 touchdowns, 61,361 yards. Oh, what a career.
Sore arm, huh?
Redskins in control so far. We're just finished the first quarter. Welcome back to Pro Player Stadium. Frank Herzog with Jeff Bostic. Where again, in a preseason game, the defense has probably been the better of the 2 units for the Redskins. This defense has been very effective on third downs. They've only given up 23% on third downs, 8 for 35. And against the Dolphins tonight, the Dolphins have only converted 1 of 3 third down situations. So the defenses look tough, and they're going after A.J. Feely again. And he misses Antonio Freeman.
We mentioned earlier that Sean Springs went to the locker room. Update on him: has got a stomach virus and is done for the day. We're looking at our Bank of America first quarter stats. These are the numbers we're more used to looking at. 48 yards rushing is a big thing for the Redskin offense. 5 first downs. Last week against the Carolina Panthers, there were 7 possessions by the Redskins, 5 of them with 3 or fewer plays.
The time of possession was almost even, but the Redskins have dominated the quarter. Here's the punt again. Chad Morton's waving people off, saying let it go, and it'll go out of bounds at about the 25-yard line. 24 is where they'll mark it. So the Redskins offense will take over there. Now, Jeff, you're a starter on a football team, and you're in your 3rd preseason game. I want you to tell me when we come back how long you want to play in the heat in Miami. Hey fans, this football season, satisfy your tailgating hunger at Giant. Burgers, hot dogs, snacks, drinks, and much more. Everything you'll need, and don't forget your bonus card either. So stop by your tailgating headquarters now. You got a Giant on your side. Well, that answers part of my question I asked you earlier about a starter. How much longer do you want to play? Coles, Gardner, and Portis look like they just may be done.
I am convinced that the NFL has too many preseason games.
We heard that discussion this morning too, Jeff. Bubba Tyre mentioned the same thing. They've got to cut down. Here goes Brunell with a quick out. Got it complete. That's Chris Cooley, the rookie, who's impressed Joe Gibbs a great deal in this preseason. And that's a 12-yard gain.
And that's another one of those balls that, you know, if it's a half a second late, that's a touchdown the other way. Cooley's going to be a guy that's going to be a matchup type of guy. You know, hook him up with a strong safety. Big guy can use his body to get open in the middle of the field. A lot like a Clint Didier.
3rd round pick out of Utah State. Gives him a first down, and here goes the run. John Simon gets to carry the ball that time.
And this is nothing fancy. This is smash mouth football. This is Joe Bugle. This is Don Bro. This is Joe Gibbs. You know, every time you look over to the sideline, it's almost like they've got Velcro on their hips. They can't move without the other one.
You know, this Redskin running game, if I remember correctly, they've only had one play on first down of less than 4 yards. There's another big run. John Simon again. We got a flag at the end of it. Looks like it could be holding. That's the early indication we're getting. No, a Gibbs offense, the critical down for them is first down. You got to have
number 60 offense, 10-yard penalty, still second down.
Left tackle Chris Samuels gets the call. You got to have 3-4 yards on first down for this Gibbs offense to be effective, and tonight they've gotten it.
And
3 and 4 yards a clip.
And that's for any offense. Teams that are going to be successful are not going to be coming back 2nd and 12, 3rd and 12, 3rd and 15. The defenses right now are so different than when Joe was in Washington the first time. First down is a huge play. The other big down, 3rd.
Chris Samuels, who graded out with a perfect game last week, not going to get that grade this week. Brunell on the draw play to Simon. So Simon gets work on the first 3 plays of this drive and gets 3 yards that time.
You know the thing we haven't seen from the Gibbs offense that I know is going to be in the package? We haven't seen a screen play yet. All preseason. This is a tough play. This is a tough play to run when you're backed up, you know, 2nd and 12, 2nd and 13. You really have to do a job as an offensive lineman selling the defensive line that it is a pass. And if you're not a good actor, you gain 1 yard.
It's 3rd down now and 11 yards to go with the ball at the Redskins 36-yard line. They lead 7-0 here in this preseason game in Miami. Brunell up over the middle. Beautiful pass. Great timing into Dolphin territory. The man brought down, that's John Simon again, at the Dolphin 43-yard line.
And John Simon beat number 58, Eddie Moore. Little interesting thing about him last year. Check the protection by this offensive line, folks. This is a type of pocket that quarterbacks yearn for. Eddie Moore, number 58, former SS, he was picked ahead of former FSU star Antoine Bolden.
Wow.
Blows out his knee, coming back from rehab right now.
3rd down and 11. The Redskins convert. It's 1st and 10. No, sir. He's not going anywhere that time. Rock Cartwright met by the stone wall there. Derek Pope came up from his secondary position to make the hit. A loss of 2.
And I bring up the fact that Eddie Moore was picked in front of Antoine Bolden for one reason. Dave Weinstead used to have control of player personnel. After that pick, he no longer has that title anymore.
Right. Cartwright remains the lone back in this set, with Chris Cooley as his H-back. That's him in motion. 2nd down and 12.
Here comes the sweep.
Sweep. They go to the right side this time, and they don't do bad. It comes 3 yards, 2 yards. Jeff, you talked earlier about not seeing the screen pass, and you made me think of a question. Joe Gibbs is back after a 12-year hiatus. Does the Tiger change his stripes? Does he become a different kind of offensive set man?
I asked Joe Bugle yesterday evening. I said, when we get to see the real Redskin offense, how much of it's going to look like the offense of the 80s? He says, it's going to be a lot different.
Oh.
So there will be some wrinkles to it.
But you're not going to see it in the preseason because we're going to keep it a secret. We don't want opponents to see it. There's the pass. It's going to be just a 3-yard gain, though. 31, John Simon pulled it in. Brunell completed it, but not for enough. Tom Tupa's on the field, punt for the 2nd time.
Would you be shocked if they pulled a fake punt right here?
Why would they waste that in the preseason?
He wouldn't. That's what I'm saying.
I'd be shocked.
I would say if they ran it right here, we would probably both jump out of this booth voluntarily.
There'd be a gasp. Sam Simmons is back to wait for it. He's waiting at the 10-yard line. Good snap. And the pooch punt. Simmons will make the fair catch at the 13-yard line, and that's where the Dolphins will begin. Wonder if we get a new quarterback? No, I don't think we do. A.J. Feely's coming back out on the field. 7-0, Redskins lead. You're watching Redskins preseason football, the Redskins Broadcast Network. Be sure and join us next Friday night. Redskins take on the Atlanta Falcons. You know what that means. Michael Vick at 7 p.m. And the Redskins quarterback coach here, Jack Burns, coached Michael Vick in Atlanta. And so I asked him about left-handed quarterbacks. I said, you know, you have to be stronger on the right side because the right tackle protects the blind side. He said, no, that's an old wives' tale from years ago in pro football. We've changed our offenses enough now that you got to have good tackles on both sides. Feely hands off. We got a flag on the play. Redskins defense. Well, the Redskins really have won the battle of field position so far in this preseason game. I think Kelly Ullman told me that the Dolphins' average starting is the 14-yard line. Their field position has been awful.
And that really limits what you can do as far as an offensive coordinator calling a game.
Illegal formation, number 88, offense. Not on the line of scrimmage. 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
I can't tell you how nice it is to hear that called on the other team. Last 2 years, the Redskins, I wish I had $1 for every time one of those silly penalties was called on Washington.
You wouldn't be sitting here now.
Nope. I'd be retired.
Now, let me ask this. Did Jack Burns take credit for all the success Michael Vick has had?
Don't coaches always? No, he didn't.
Can you imagine last year in Atlanta when they're playing Baltimore and Vick breaks his leg? What goes on in Dan Reeves' mind? Jack Burns.
Watch Matt.
Watch the end of this play. You know what? Look, he's going to kill himself.
We get a 5-6, 5-7, 5-7, 5-6. On the Chinese judge, you give him a 5-3. I knew it.
I'll tell you what, I like this guy. He is a heat-seeking missile.
Oh, he's something. 2nd and 14 for the Dolphins. Backed up deep in their own territory and trailing the Redskins 7-0 on Balloon Night at Quill Players Stadium. Oh, the fans are going to boo that one. Boo! Travis Minor on a run. That's a give-up play on 2nd and 14.
And look at the big guy, Salavea. He's another guy that's going to help that inside run defense.
Look at the arms on that guy. It looks like somebody's legs. He's huge.
Anytime you stop a run, look at that. He ran around the center. You know, that's tremendous quickness. That's tremendous quickness for a guy that's 300 pounds. Then you got to walk around and strut a little bit, you know?
He had to pay twice as much for those tattoos as normal people do. 3rd down pass, incomplete. They want a pass interference call. I don't see a hanky anywhere. Greg Williams again puts the aggressive defense to work, puts some heat on the quarterback, and it works.
Well, you're able to do that when you back somebody up 3rd down and 15. Watch, see, here comes the corner linebackers. They're bringing the kitchen sink. Feely does a good job of staying in the pocket. Even if he had caught the ball, Frank, not enough yards for the first down. As a wide receiver, you've got to know where the chains are, or why throw it?
Chad Morton's waiting back at the Redskin 42-yard line, anticipating getting some good field position on this punt return. Matt Turk about 8 yards deep in his own end zone. Lower kick this time. Morton's going to get great field position just catching the ball. Not a bad little return down to the 42-yard line either. Brendan Abanyeho makes the stop. A 5-yard return. Matt Turk, the punter, former Redskin, and look, he's going to hit somebody. My goodness. 7-0. Redskins lead. Redskin Matt Turk punting the ball away just moments ago. Check it out.
Yeah, you really like it when a punter tries to block you like that. There used to be a guy that played with the Cardinals, Dave Steve. And what he would do like Lott, and he would circle the punter. Then the punter would go jogging downfield, you know, as punters are. And Dave Steve would ear hole him. He would literally wipe him out. And he got a great nickname, the Punter Hunter.
Redskins have excellent field position, the best they've had all night long. They're at the Dolphin 43-yard line. They've got a 7-0 lead. Brunell is still in the ball game and still passing the ball and still completing it. John Simon that time out of bounds. That'll be a 7-yard gain.
You know, with a guy like Betts, you know, not playing these first 3 games, you give great opportunity to a guy like John Simon. Anytime a running back is typically hooked up with a linebacker, advantage running back. He beat Corey Jenkins. You know, Corey Jenkins was a high draft pick in baseball. in 1996. Got as high as AA, probably couldn't hit the curveball, Frank.
Taylor Jacobs is in the ball game as a wide receiver, but this time John Simon gets the run down to the 35. Taylor Jacobs from Florida in his second year. He's been nagged by injuries all through camp. Getting his first work in a preseason game.
We're going to have to watch John Simon on special teams. That's how he will make this football team.
Yeah.
It's not carrying the football. It's not, hey, that's a bonus. But how do you play on special teams?
There's Jacobs. Jafar Williams with the University of Maryland. The other rookie is on the other side. And
oh,
John
yeah.
Simon, oh, a nice counter play. That's a first down.
I could run that play in my sleep.
You could?
Yeah. Trips right. 60 counter load. Watch the backside. You've got the running back sealing the backside.
Oh, look at Samuels.
Kick out by Dockery.
Yeah.
And look, when you get your tackle upfield with his shoulder square, successful play. It's got to be ran inside the tackle box, though. Can you imagine Big John toting that mill again? We could tell stories about Riggins, but they'd throw us off the air.
Rock Cartwright's in the ball game now at running back. Going to give Simon a break. And he's going to get the run. And he's going to do fairly well out of the 25. 3 yards.
Rock Cartwright showed young kids why you want to keep your feet on the ground right there. He hopped over some legs, and it's never good when you're out of. And Antoine Edwards, the cornerback for Miami, put a shot on him. Watch the end of this play. Watch him when you get in the air, up, boom. He's going backwards. Keep your feet on the ground.
It's second down now and 7 at the 25. Redskins lead 7-0. Frank Herzog with Jeff Bostic. And Rock Cartwright going backwards. Eddie Moore was one of the first of the Dolphins in there to chase him down. That's frustrating.
How about Tony Bua? Is that one of the, more familiar names in football?
Bua. The Brain Trust on the other side of the field is not happy with that play. I'll tell you that. Bugles out there yelling. Don Bro. Rennie Simmons not too happy either. It's third down now, 9 yards at the 27.
I told Bugles, I said, you look better now than you did in 1981.
He said,
This is the first
what
charge
kind of exercise
timeout.
do you get? He said, I walked.
Miami.
He said, I walked this morning for 3 hours. Walked all the way to the beach and soaked my feet. 7-0, Washington leads.
Welcome back to Pro Player Stadium. Redskins lead at 7-0 in the second quarter. Now, wide receiver Taylor Jacobs has entered the game for the Redskins. And what people may not know is he was actually a standout baseball player in high school, a shortstop that had the Braves, Marlins, and Diamondbacks interested. But he told me he had to play football. His father was a football coach, played football in college as well. He had no choice. Living under his roof, it was football. He says he's blessed to be here, guys.
I think we can say tonight we've already seen decisions made on a couple of positions for the Redskins. Lavernius Coles, Rod Gardner are going to be your starting receivers when the season begins. Clinton Portis, obviously, your starting running back. And I think Sean Taylor's going to be your starting safety. He made the play that got the Redskins the ball for the lead. John Simon inside the Dolphin 20 to the 15. That's 12 yards again. Boy, Brunell's having a good night, isn't he?
And it's easy to throw the ball, Frank, when you're not constantly getting hit in the face. Watch the pass protection. We talked about Dockery earlier. What a tremendous job. The guy that has benefited the most from Joe Bugel is Chris Samuels. He is playing like the all-pro that he made 2 years in a row. He's back to that form.
Yeah.
Bugel said he's a shutdown guy. He will shut people down.
I think he's got his confidence back, Jeff. I think he lost confidence last year. Here's the run by Simon. Tough battleground in there. 3 yards on the first down run. So you've got any idea what the new Redskin offense is going to look like? What could they possibly do?
You know what? The only thing I can tell you with Joe Gibbs, their staff will exhaust every effort that they have. And when September 12th rolls around and Tampa comes to town, this will be a well-prepared, well-oiled offense. And you'll see some different nuances, but you'll see some of the old stuff, the counters and the run passes off of it.
You're going to see things like that. Simon up the middle. Lost his helmet.
Somebody lost their helmet.
He did.
I've always found it better to play with the helmet.
Actually, there are two hats on the field.
You know, it's fortunate there's not a head in that helmet. You know, that's always...
Oh, it's not late enough for that yet.
You know, everybody says, you know, you should play football. Really? Why don't you take the football and have all the fun you want in there? Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen a play where two helmets. Look, it just ripped it off.
Ouch.
And then he gets a forearm right across the bridge of the nose.
Yeah, no, and then he gets an underarm across his nose. Empty backfield here for Mark Brunell. Can he get it? Got it to the one. It's Chad Morton with a reception. Brunell, is it just the protection, or has he looked better too? He's accurate.
You know what? They go hand in hand. No quarterback, high school, college, even in the pros, likes going back into the pocket and consistently getting hit in the face.
You know, and I don't think we've seen him roll out tonight, which was his trademark.
We haven't ran the speed package yet.
Right.
But we did run the sweep. I told you we'd get you a new play.
Short yardage situation. Rock Cartwright is the deep back. They got three tight ends. They call the package jumbo, and there's another Redskins touchdown. Just as easy as it could be. Rolled into the end zone.
I wonder if we'll actually get a smile out of Coach Gibbs.
You should get one out of Bugle on the sidelines. We'll ask Kelly to go over and watch, see what he says. He's got to be happy.
That was a great job by their left side. Dockery and Samuels just nullifying the line of scrimmage, getting removal. You got like, you know, Cartwright's 5'8". How are they going to see him behind Dockery at 6'6"?
That is an advantage.
He could really pick him up and, you know, kind of carry him around in his pocket.
Who was the running back that used to grab a hold of the back of Jacoby's
That was
pants?
Joe Washington.
Joe Washington.
Joe Washington would grab your jersey.
And just let you pull him along.
And you know the other thing you remember Joe Washington for? It didn't matter what time of the day, he was always humming. You remember him humming?
Yeah.
He was a big hummer.
When they had the reunions, I sat down to do an interview with him, and he was humming before the interview.
He was amazing. He was one of the few guys that would, after practice and training camp, they had those big ice buckets. He could climb in that ice bucket every day after the morning practice, waist deep.
Oh.
I don't know how you do that. I guess that's why he hummed, you know? He had parts going numb.
So Rock Cartwright scores the touchdown, and Rock Cartwright walks right back out onto the field for kick coverage.
Let's ISO him and see what he does on kick coverage.
Last week he had a good night.
You know, this is a good sign. When you see guys out on the field, Lemons had a tremendous game last week. Now he's on kickoff coverage. They're going to find out what he can do. Antonio Pierce, you know, another guy, kickoff coverage.
There you see the scoring drive. 10 plays, 43 yards, 5.5 minutes. Typical Gibbs type run, drive.
What do they say? What a difference a week makes.
It's amazing, Jeff. It's amazing the turnaround in just a week. John Hall to boot it. It's a relatively short kick. In fact, it's a very short kick. That's Fred Russell on the return. They got a flag as he dives out across the 30 to the 34. Lamar Marshall getting up after the hit. Here's Rock Cartwright. We'll isolate on him.
This is one of the jobs you don't want.
During the return,
you know, running downfield, people are coming from every different angle. And this is the moment of truth. A little running back taking on an offensive lineman.
Here's Antonio Pierce, who's making a charge at middle linebacker.
And the amazing thing, even back when I played, it's not always the fastest guy on the team that gets down first. Pete Cronin was probably one of the slower guys we had on kickoff coverage, but he was always first downfield. And Gibbs used to say it. You know, he'd point out a guy that was fast, and he goes, how does Pete Cronin outrun you for 40 yards? And, you know, some people have game speed, and other people have, you know, pro timing day speed, and it doesn't relate on the field.
Yeah. You can see by Rock Cartwright's body language, I've had about enough of that. Jay Fiedler's in at quarterback for the Dolphins. And he's going to complete the first pass he tries. You've got a flag at the end of that play. Fans are yelling as if they do.
No, they were just a little upset that the receiver.
this is the 2-minute warning.
2-minute warning. This has been a fast half.
Thank you very much. 2 minutes left to go in the first half of this game, and the Redskins have gotten into the end zone twice. The second time on a Rock Cartwright run. They've got a 2-touchdown lead. Believe it or not, on a night like this, the Gatorade container is not used to pour over the winning coach's head. They need that Gatorade to replenish some fluids. Body fluids lost in the heat down here, the humidity.
When I drove in this afternoon, it was about 95 degrees. And I'm going to say the humidity is probably, what, 70, 75%?
Look at Don Bro. He's getting that Gatorade.
You know what his nickname is?
What?
Silver Fox.
Silver Fox?
There you go.
Jay Fiedler brings them out. Second down and 6 yards to go. They trail 14-0 to the Redskins. You can see the clock, 1 minute and 59 seconds left to go here in the first half. Fiedler completes the pass. Got enough for a first down. Catch was made by Ronald Bellamy. You want to know the definition of a journeyman? Well, I'll tell you in just a minute here. Let's see what the Fiedler does here with a hurry-up offense. He's got 4 receivers. He's got time. Uh-oh. The bells are ringing.
Marcus Washington with the big hit.
Marcus Washington rang the bell of Travis Minor.
I still do not understand how the Indianapolis Colts can allow a guy with this type of talent to get out of your football squad.
Money?
Well, you can't sign everybody, right?
Right.
Take care of the Manning. You know what? Can you imagine Archie Manning, son Peyton, son Eli? They start their own bank.
Dad's fixed, huh?
Well, Dad ain't got to work any, believe me. Dad didn't play for free either.
Second down and 10. Fiedler again's got the completion. This time it's Antonio Freeman with his first catch as a Miami Dolphin. 18-yard gain and a Miami first down.
Don't be surprised if Greg Williams gets aggressive if they gain another first down and starts coming after him with the blitz. Here they come.
Oh, he gets it away just before they arrive to nobody. The catch made by Clint Storner, the backup quarterback on the sidelines.
And the pressure by Antonio Pierce. You know, anytime you gain a big gain, watch the left-hand side of your screen. Just about the time Fiedler cuts loose with it, Mr. Pierce introduces himself.
The difference from last year for Antonio Pierce, he'd have made that hit and then he'd have gotten a personal foul for throwing a punch or something. And this year, he contains himself, plays under control.
Let me say this. A player or a team is a reflection of their coach.
Again, the pressure's heavy, and again, they make him miss because of it.
And I say that for one reason, Frank. When you think about Joe Gibbs, you think, you know, unbelievably prepared, determined, organization to the nines, discipline, you know, somebody you can count on. And these things, you know, slowly start sifting into your players. They're buying your system or they're not. And from what I'm seeing, they are buying them.
Look at this rush. Oh, my goodness. It's a tough way to make a living with Ronaldo wind bearing down on you. It's very different from what it was a week ago. It's third and long again. Fiedler with a deep drop, and again he's rushed, and again he has to throw too soon, and it's incomplete. So the defense is doing its job with the guys up front, which were the biggest question mark coming into the season.
And I think it's still going to be a question mark. And I asked Greg Williams this, do you have enough defensive linemen currently on your roster to keep 8 or 9 of these guys? And my answer looking at it would be no. I think they're going to pick somebody up off the waiver wire before it's over.
He says he has a better nucleus of players here than he had in Buffalo, where he built the #2 defense in the league.
He got fired in Buffalo, Frank.
Not for his defense.
What a punt.
Into the end zone. He was trying for the coffin corner on the near side, but the ball bounced the wrong way. 50-yard punt from Matt Turk. He's not happy.
Yeah, but he didn't block anybody that time.
Stayed out of that.
He is a weapon.
Now,
Matt Turk is a weapon.
Here comes Patrick Ramsey into the ball game for his first appearance of the night. So Mark Brunell is done. He completed 7 of 9 passes for 79 yards, no interceptions. Pretty good night. Ramsey's numbers from a year ago. And I'm wondering if Ramsey is still not comfortable behind center because of what he went through a year ago. The poor kid just got beat like a piñata.
And he's behind the backup offensive line.
50 seconds left to go here in the first half for Patrick Ramsey to work with. No gain, maybe a yard on the first down run by John Simons.
Joe Gibbs has to be encouraged. His offense has clicked. His defense has played well. His pass protection has been stellar. They've been able to run the ball. They've been able to come up and blitz Miami. Their kicking game has been solid. A lot of good things out of this start.
Here's the kneel down formation, which is going to end the first half as the clock ticks off the final seconds. You're right, Jeff, and I wish I could tell you what he did differently, but he practiced behind closed doors, allowed no one to watch, but it's obvious he and his coaching staff got the message through. Guys, we can't have the mistakes. We've got to play better. We've got to be more crisp.
And I'll tell you some of the superstition things about Joe Gibbs in the second half.
All right, I'm looking forward to it. Halftime, the two teams are headed off the field. The Redskins must be feeling pretty good. They've got a 2-touchdown lead, and they have dominated the Dolphins here in the first half.
Now, from WUSA 9 News, this is the Redskins Halftime Report.
Hello, everyone. I'm Tracy Neal, and this is your 9 News Halftime Report. The Skins are looking good right down in Miami right now. We're going to hope they can hold on to it. A little news now. Imagine you are out shopping with your family when the bomb squad rushes in. Well, that is what happened today at Montgomery Mall. It all started when a security guard spotted a truck with wire sticking out of it. It was parked in a garage near Nordstrom's. The fire department rushed in as well, the hazmat team and bomb squad too. Happy to report tonight, though, no explosives were found and the owner of the truck was tracked down. When it comes to D.C. kids, parents, listen up. The clock is ticking for students to get their shots before the new school year rolls around. Dozens of parents in Northeast took time out today to have their kids immunized, all part of a health fair at Emory Elementary School. And that's just part of the story. World Vision was there, too, offering up a major donation, 1,000 backpacks filled with supplies for students at 10 D.C. schools. And local help is now on the way to Florida, heading there right now. 8 members of the Arlington Emergency Management Team right now heading down there, down south to pitch in this week. They will give a break to emergency workers who have been working long hours since Hurricane Charlie struck last week. All right, we're going to wish them well. Boy, it has been hot and sticky. We could use a break here.
We could cut it with a knife, but you know what, Tracy? It is over with. The frontal system's through us. We're in great shape. In fact, here's a satellite picture and the radar combined. We had some showers roll through earlier and a few thunderstorms, although not that much precipitation. One front's to our south. A secondary front will roll through, and that will reinforce our cool air. So here's the forecast then for tonight. Partly cloudy, a little bit breezy. Cool, though. Very comfortable. Low temperature 61 to 66. Winds northwest 10 to 15. Mr. Pam will be back at 11 with the 7-day. Tracy.
Sounds good. Thanks so much, Topper. That does it for now. The second half of this matchup just moments away, followed by Sports Plus post-game show. And I'll see you on September 3rd when the Skins take on Atlanta. Stay tuned for the rest of the game. We'll keep our fingers crossed for the Skins.
Welcome back to Pro Players Stadium. Redskins lead it at the half, 14-0. Now, everyone knows there's a quarterback battle in Washington, but it has not affected the relationship between Mark Brunell and Patrick Ramsey. In fact, they're very good friends. They play golf together. They go to dinner together. They help each other out a lot. And, of course, in this league, both know it's important to have 2 good quarterbacks on a team because of injuries. In fact, Mark Brunell talked about depth and how it's important at every position to be good in the league.
Without depth, you stand a tough chance of getting into the playoffs. You've got to have guys that when the starter goes down, a backup needs to come in and hopefully pick up where that guy left off. That's hard, particularly in a salary cap era when it's almost the haves and the have-nots, the guys that are starters making the big money, then the other guys that you have to try to fit in somehow. You've got to have depth. You've got to have guys that can play, and I'm finding out that the Redskins are going to have some depth, which is good.
The Redskins have 3 good quarterbacks, Patrick Ramsey, Mark Brunell, and Tim Hasselbeck, who Joe Gibbs likes very much. It's time now to go to a quick break. When we come back, we'll head back up to the booth and join Frank Herzog and Joe Bostic with more game analysis. Pro Players Stadium's Redskins lead it 14-0 over the the Miami Dolphins. Now, one guy you're going to see a lot of here in the second half, in fact, you've seen a lot of him in the first 2 preseason games, is wide receiver Gary Scott. Interesting story. He has just 2 NFL catches after being drafted by Philly in 2000, and he's had 2 major injuries, an ankle, broken ankle, and a knee injury. But what he told me is that he suffered much more off the field that people did not know about. Before he broke his ankle in 2001, his wife Kelly was diagnosed with stomach cancer, and she is fully recovered now and doing extremely well. But Gary Scott told me she has motivated him and taught him about true toughness. When he saw her below 100 pounds and have to fight her way back from cancer, that told him that he could do anything. In fact, he could play in this league and recover from knee surgery last year. So Gary Scott is definitely an inspiration. Joe Gibbs told me he likes him a lot. He lines up. He's on every down. He's a very tough player. And so expect to see a lot of him here in the second half, as well as on special teams. He also returns punts and kickoffs. Now let's set it up to the booth with Frank and Jeff. Guys?
The big question in my mind, I'm certainly in Jeff's as well, is how much longer will any of the starters stay in here at the start of the second half, or will they go entirely to reserves? The Redskins have put on the best performance of the preseason in the first half of this game against the Dolphins. In spite of the fact that the Dolphins had some people out injured, their main people up front were there, and the Redskins dominated the line of scrimmage offensively. Their defense was aggressive, caused the turnover that set up the first touchdown for Washington, made all the difference in the world. It's a completely different football team than the one we saw against Carolina a week ago. And I think it all starts with the Redskins' offensive line and that running game, Jeff.
Well, the one thing you've got, you were able to run the football successfully. We added our new play, the sweep.
Right.
You're talking about it, here it comes. Looks like the Green Bay sweep. And this is where you're going to find out about Joe Gibbs. A great guy at utilizing personnel. And Porter says, you know what? I liked it outside one way. Let's try it this way. That's throwing your body around in the preseason. And obviously punching again on 63-yard drive for a touchdown. John Simmons is another guy proving that he's a good running back. He's also proving he can catch the ball out of the backfield. This is a guy that if he plays well on special teams has a chance to make this football team.
And the big thing here was Brunell had time all night long. I don't remember him being pressured once.
I don't think he got hit at all the first half. And our little favorite, Rock Cartwright, good job by the left side of the offensive line creating a pretty good cavity. We talked about it. What were the keys to the game? Improved quarterback play. We've seen that. Okay, we've got to play Joe Gibbs football. We haven't seen all the penalties. We haven't seen the interceptions, the little things that drive you nuts. And the other thing was, look at the time of possession. When you can run the ball, you keep the ball out of the other person's hands. Time of possession is almost 2-to-1. Look at third down. We talked about how important first down is. 5 for 7 on third downs. That's winning football.
And talk about a dominating defense. The Redskin defense has not allowed a first half touchdown in this preseason. That's dominating defense, an aggressive defense.
And they're doing it without one of their stars, LeVar Arrington, who didn't even make the trip. You're looking at Mark Brunell, who's done for the evening. Gibbs and company have to be pleased with the way he played the first half.
Morton starts off with a pretty good kick return and good field position for the Redskins offense here at the 24-yard line to start the second half. 27-yard return for Morton, and so Patrick Ramsey will come back out. He got to run one play, and he got to kneel down one play, and that was his first half experience. We'll see if he looks a little more comfortable behind this offensive line tonight. Special teams action. Oh, I think, is that 2 points for that takedown?
That's a takedown, but you also notice, see, Bua was going to, flip him over, but France brings him down with him.
Yes. All right, Ramsey hands off to Rock Cartwright here at the first play of the second half. He gets out across the 25. It's going to be a 3-yard gain.
And the one guy that they're really looking at that may push one of the starters would be Corey Raymer.
Right.
I'm really surprised that hasn't happened. We're getting our first look at Marcus Spriggs, young kid that they signed last week to add depth to the offensive line. The one they'd really like to see do something. Not in the game right now, Molinaro. But I am really surprised that Corey Raymer is not, after this length of time in training camp, not starting on their offensive line at center.
He's a guy who suffered the Achilles tear a year ago, was lost for the season, and he's coming back from that. Maybe confidence is involved there. Rock Cartwright, meanwhile, gets knocked down, and the Dolphins say they've got the football.
And I don't think the officials are buying it at all.
They're not going to win that argument.
Derek Pope, number 33, safety blitz. Running backs always know there's one guy that probably won't get blocked. You don't count on him being in your backfield.
Runner is down by contact. Third down.
Look at those legs. Whose could they be? There he is, your answer, Mr. Portis.
Those legs have run for a lot of yards in only 2 NFL seasons.
I'm interested in the way he manages to leave the ground when he gets hit. I'm wondering if that helps him avoid injuries. He gets up in the air. His feet always seem to get off the ground when he gets hit.
You know what? He can run on his hands if he can run for 1,500 yards, you know?
Chad Morton gets some work running back. Got the young receivers in, and there's Ramsey with his first pass, and he's got all day, and look at that. A beautiful pass and a completion. Taylor Jacobs with his first catch of the preseason.
And this is exactly what Patrick Ramsey needs, confidence. Sit in the pocket, know you're going to be protected. Let's hear what the official.
Before the pass was thrown, illegal hands to the face, number 11, defense. Penalty is declined. First down.
21-yard pass completion because of this protection.
And they were dropping a defensive lineman in coverage. 5 blockers against 3, you should win. We've talked about Taylor Jacobs. This is a guy that needs to step his game up if he's going to make this football team. There's a way to get somebody's attention making a big catch.
So with a first down, Patrick Ramsey's got the Redskins near midfield, and he'll run the ball again. This time it's John Simon. And he's into Dolphin territory. Jeff, I think another thing that's going to help Joe Gibbs in his return to football is a rule change. The 5-yard rule on defensive backs. They can only touch a receiver for the first 5 yards, and then they're going to be hands off. That's going to help Gibbs put together the kind of offense he had before.
And that's a double-edged sword because your defense has to play by the same rules also.
Right. Good point. Simon's the deep back in this formation. Ramsey's thrown one and completed one. Here's John Simon with a run again. Look at that patience, yes, as he breaks it outside and rolls out of bounds. 3 yards on that carry. But I think he's got enough for the first down.
You know what? You always talk about the running backs with great runs. This is one where your running back is patient, letting your offensive line work up front. He dips once, he dips twice, and then he breaks it outside. It wasn't a big gain, but it was a gain of 3 or 4 yards. Watch his footwork. Stutter. He's going to stutter again right there. Now he's going to try and break it outside.
That's tough to do, to have that kind of patience when they're coming after you. The officials didn't give them a good a spot as I did. They're going to measure for the first down. See if he gets it.
You know what you're talking about will give Gibbs an opportunity to win. I was thinking back to the 82 to 91, the golden decade of Redskin football. The one thing that the Redskins have to do, they have to make FedEx Field a place that people fear coming to. People did not want to come to RFK and play the Redskins. During that span, the Redskins were 57 and 18 at home. The other thing they've got to do is win games in their division. During that same span, 52 and 27 in the division. And that was a tough division.
And the remarkable thing I think people forget is FedEx Field was designed acoustically to be louder than RFK. It's never been that because they've never had that good a team there.
I tell people, the Washington Redskins fans are the best fans in the league. They're educated. They know what is good football, and they know what is bad football. If they see bad football, they'll let you know. Flip side, if they see good football, they will also appreciate that. They haven't seen a lot of good football since Joe Gibbs left this town.
3 wide receivers on 2nd and 6. Cartwright to run. Cartwright to run for a first down. And he's inside Dolphins' 35-yard line down to the 32. That's 7 yards for Rock Cartwright, who's getting a workout tonight.
You know what? Ray Brown, Corey Raymer. Take your hat off to those two big guys. Creating a cavity on the right side of the offensive line. I stood beside Ray again. I'm going to tell you, Ray can make big men feel small.
I saw him his first day at practice, and he said, "Hey, look, I'm almost as old as you are." And I said, "And what are you doing on a football field?" And he said, "I'm playing the game. I love the game." He'll be a good addition for them, won't he?
The one thing Ray Brown will bring to them is veteran leadership. He's a guy that's been in playoff games. He's a guy that's been in Super Bowls. Unbelievable character. You know, guy that's going to be a locker room stalwart.
He's going to be a guy that people can talk to,
This guy came into the league as a tight end.
Yeah, it's crazy. That's hard to believe. Suton McCullough ran the ball on that last run, and he's going to run it again on this one.
And the one thing about Ray, I said he came in as a tight end his rookie season, and it wasn't for a single wing offense, okay, in leather helmets. It was really like I formation, and he's old, but he's not that old. He played with my brother. Is that scary?
Your older brother.
My only brother.
And he's older than you are.
The St. Louis Phoenix Cardinal brother.
Yeah.
Played with my brother for 3 years. Did Ray play with Sammy Ball?
I don't think Sammy Ball. Maybe Sam Huff. He may have played against him. Ramsey again has time, and again he's got a receiver.
Scott Cloman.
Good timing on that pass, and a nice catch as Cloman gets knocked out of bounds. 7 yards and another Redskin first down.
You've got to be wondering to yourself, is this the same football team that we watched last week against Carolina?
Hard to believe, isn't it?
Execution is 1,000% better, and it's all set up by your offensive line. If you can run the ball, all of a sudden you can pass the ball, and their pass protection has been flawless.
Let's remember they're playing against a Dolphin team decimated by injuries. Last week they played against the NFC champions. Suton McCullough fights for 2.
We talked about it before the end of the half, about Gibbs and how paranoid and superstitious he is. Frank, when we were at the old park, we would have practice, and they built that hotel across the way that was 5 or 6 stories high, and he always thought that somebody would come and rent a room and watch our practice. So what he had all our wide receivers and tight ends do was on practice days during the season, he'd make them all change jerseys, so nobody would know who was lining up where. Is that superstitious or what?
He is something. This is the 12th play of a drive that started at the Redskin 24-yard line, and on that 12th play, Chad Morton takes it out of bounds. Inside the 15 at the 12. It'll be a 3-yard gain. 3rd down now, and 5 for a Redskins first down. They're 12 yards away from a Redskins touchdown.
You know it's a long drive. When you look down at the offensive linemen, they've got their hands on their hips. That's not a good sign.
Joe Gibbs' superstition extends all the way to what hotels the team stays in on the road. For instance, this year when they play the New York Giants, they're going back to the Marriott Hotel at the Newark Airport. Why? Because the last time he beat the Giants, that's where they stayed. Ramsey got time again. All day, and he's going to run. Now, Patrick, that's a good way to get hit.
I think he got the first down, Frank.
Jeremiah Bell on the stop. 4 yards, he needed 5. Close but no cigar, so the field goal team will come out.
I'll tell you another little Gibbs thing. We were so bad on Monday night games or Sunday night games under Gibbs. In '91, he changed the whole routine. We used to come in at 10 o'clock, and we started coming in at 5 o'clock. Went through the walkthrough, straight to the hotel. We opened up the season against Detroit, 45-0. That was done the rest of the year. Any night game, 5 o'clock.
5 o'clock start. Here's the kick. Ola Kimbrin puts it up and puts it through. Put 3 more up next to Washington on that scoreboard. And they've extended their lead to 17-0. Pitching a shutout here at Pro Player Stadium in Fort Lauderdale. You got all kinds of Redskins fans inside the stadium tonight. Of course, you got the kind that come down from Washington to see the Redskins play. They turn it into a nice vacation the weekend. You got others who've always been Redskin fans in Miami. Remember, there was a time when the Redskins were the team of the South. There was no team south of Washington, D.C., and Redskins broadcasts were pumped all the way into the South by television and radio. So fans still have a big base in places like Florida, North Carolina, South Carolina, Tennessee.
And I am originally from North Carolina, and I will back that up. When I was a kid, the only thing you could see on Sunday were the Washington Redskins.
You became a fan.
I used to watch your former broadcast partner, Mr. Jurgensen, execute delightful surgeries on defense. Can you imagine, Sonny? And I saw him at halftime talking to another Hall of Famer, Bob Greasy. Can you imagine Sonny Jurgensen with a great offensive line, what he would have done?
It would have been scary, I'll tell you that. Fred Russell on the return, and it's a good one. One guy to stop him, make it two. The stop made by Darnell Wiles, saving a touchdown. Otherwise, Russell's gone.
Danny Smith, the special teams coach, will not be pleased with this.
There'll be some barking about that one, but still, it's 17-0 Washington. Marcus Spriggs signed earlier this week by the Redskins to help bolster the offensive line. Needs a little bolstering from the oxygen tank. Getting a little more workout than he thought. Next to him is Brian Kozlowski, the tight end. Interesting guy, 6'3", 250-pound tight end who has 28 kickoff returns in his career. That would be scary, 6'3", 250 with a football coming at you. That kickoff return of 49 yards by Fred Russell was the longest given up by the Redskins special teams in this preseason. So, yes, the special teams coach Danny Smith will have something to say about that. You better believe it.
Those are dominating numbers. Holding Miami to 20 yards rushing while your own football team rushes for 114. We used to call that a good old country butt whooping.
Fiedler got all the time in the world and throwing deep. Got a man. Adi Jamo broke it up in the end zone. Snoop Minnis couldn't get the ball. Was right on target, Jeff.
That's one of those that Jamo does a tremendous job closing. And as a quarterback, you can't really do anything else. Got a little contact there. You can't throw the ball any better. Wide receiver probably can use a better job of warding off the defender. Maybe got away with a little bit of contact. He's looking for it, too. See him waving his arm.
2nd and 10, they're going to run the ball. And not very well. Fred Russell on the run. He's a free agent from Iowa. Had an 88-yard run last week. Was the longest for a Dolphin in the preseason since 1988. So the Dolphins now face 3rd and 10 at the Redskin 45-yard line. Following Fred Russell's kick return, they haven't been able to generate anything. Redskins defense digging in. He'll try the short pass, and it looks like it could be very close to a first down. Sam Simmons on the reception. Did he get it? The offense is staying on the field as though he did. Greg Williams, not so sure. There is a journeyman. Let me tell you what I mean. Listen to this quarterback's resume. Signed as a non-drafted free agent by the Eagles. Inactive for 16 games. Claimed on waivers by the Bengals. Released a month later. Played for Amsterdam Admirals of the World League. Signed by Minnesota's in April. Released by the Vikings in August. And then re-signed by the Vikings. And then granted free agency. And then signed by Jacksonville. And then given unconditional free agency. And then finally signed by the Dolphins. Fiedler, he's had quite a career already. Redskins say they've got a fumble. And the officials are trying to decide. Yes, they do.
The ball was fumbled by Miami. Recovered by Washington. First down.
Dave Wanstatt understandably frustrated. So for the second time tonight, the Redskins have gotten a turnover. Now let's see if they can convert it to points for the second time tonight. We'll be back with more in just a moment. Redskins fans, want to live large like a Redskin? Just go to redskins.com and tell us where to reach you on game day. If you're watching the Redskins, you could win a trip for you and 9 friends to watch the Skins take on the Chicago Bears October 17th, all courtesy of Independence Air. So go to redskins.com and sign up to watch and win.
And if somebody wins, I'll go with them. Be one of their 9.
One of the 9, I would go too. Chicago's fun in October. Suton McCullough reversing his field and getting 5 yards out of what looked like was going to be about 1. The Redskins have dominated the Miami Dolphins so far in this preseason game. Time of possession there is the latest place they've dominated. They've gotten 2 turnovers. They've converted the first into a touchdown. Rock Cartwright's run it in for a score. Ola Kimron has kicked the 26-yard field goal, and the defense has shut out the Dolphins.
And the Dirtbags played well.
Yes, they did. Again, McCullough. This time, 2 yards.
And I will tell you this one thing. Running the football is really the key component of your football team. It allows your offensive line to be tough. It makes your defensive line be tough because they're playing against each other in practice. And it's a mentality thing. You know, it's a tough kid on the block thing.
Ferrario looks like he hasn't missed any meals at training camp.
You know what? He's got a body that would have made me proud when I was playing. and really, he would have made Russ Grimm proud.
Yeah, he'd be Grimm's kind of guy. In the inside handoff, McCullough running inside again. And you know, Suton McCullough does not look to me like an inside between the tackles runner. He seems to be more like the outside, the guy that run that new play the Redskins have, the sweep.
Have you seen this play before? The counter?
Yeah, once or twice. What do you do as the center on that play?
You block back. You block back. You block the defensive tackle to keep him from getting upfield.
If it's going right, you're blocking left.
And they're typically in a 3-eye, 3 technique, unless it's Howie Long and you can't get back there and block him. You couldn't get back and block him from a 3 technique.
But you tried, though, didn't you?
Yeah, I was like Nolan Ryan throwing no-hitters.
Ramsey's going to go deep. He can't connect. Gary Scott was out there, but overthrown.
One question about Pro Player Stadium. I remember playing here. I do not remember that little AstroTurf triangle in the corner of the end zone.
I don't know what that's about, Jeff, if it's a patch or what. The other thing is there's absolutely, because it's a baseball field, there's no crown. But there's the AstroTurf patch.
Yeah, can you imagine somebody on some 7 studs, the screw-on cleats, and hit that stuff?
This is the first
slide a little.
Timeout. Washington.
Washington calls timeout. Apparently they got a play that they didn't like or didn't have the people to run. We'll take the break as well. Washington leads 17-0.
Welcome back to Pro Player Stadium. Redskins lead at 17-0 right now in the 3rd quarter. Now, after Rock Cartwright's 1-yard touchdown run in the 2nd quarter, Joe Bugle, offensive line coach, came over here. And one thing everyone knows about Bugle, he's as loud when you do something right as when you do something wrong as when you do something right. He came over, sought out right tackle Kenyatta Jones, made sure he knew what he thought of the job he was doing, which was very good job. Bugle very animated. Jones got the message very quick, guys.
Kelly, the only thing is we got to get Bugle a tailor. He looks like he's wearing his uncle's clothes. He's lost so much weight.
Hey, he looks great.
Doesn't he?
That's what all the players say. He's in better shape than they are.
Ramsey, the quarterback, after the timeout, got the play he wants. Let's see if he can complete it. Nope. Rushed a little bit there, pushed up the middle that time by big old number 92, T.J. Bingham. Tell me something, Jeff, something I've always wondered. You see Joe Gibbs on the sidelines, and he's always passive. You never see him angry. Does he ever get angry?
I played for him for 12 years, Frank, and I really saw him get angry 2 or 3 times. One year in Philadelphia, we absolutely stunk the joint up the first half. We were down like 14-3, had like 45 total yards of offense.
I remember that.
And it was a Buddy Ryan coach team, and he hated Buddy Ryan. So he came in at halftime, and he's running up and down. You know that long, skinny locker room?
Right.
And he is, it's like somebody is choking a chicken, okay?
Oh, no.
He's got that high-pitched voice when he starts screaming. Then he went into the coach's office, and you could hear chairs flying around. Then he came back out and turned over our Gatorade and orange thing, and it spilled all over my only set of clothes to wear home. Came back and won the game. I told him, I said, Coach, you ought to pull this act more often.
Yeah. You never hardly ever see him get upset at all. Ramsey the pass again. This time he's got the short completion and he's got the first down. That's going to be 13 yards. And there's that rookie from Maryland, Jafar Williams. Man, they're trying, huh?
And how much better does Patrick Ramsey look this evening? Sets in the pocket, having a chance to go down to 1, 2, maybe 3 receivers. He's looking to the left. Now he goes back right. And it starts with pass protection. The quarterbacks have been clean all night long.
2 minutes and 20 seconds left to go in this third quarter. There's Chad Morton running it outside. He'll get 3. Morton had a great preseason last year. Looked good as a runner. But then when they got to the regular season, he never saw the runner spot again.
So you can tell the guys that have played longer. You look at Cooley, his pants are completely burgundy, but look at Corey Raymer. He's got spots in him that some of the burgundy is not as dark.
Yeah.
That means it's dry. He hadn't been on the field as long.
Corey Raymer. He's a veteran center, back with the Redskins. There's the run again. This time a couple of more yards. Redskins look like they're satisfied with what they've done tonight and just want to get out of here clean, huh? No more injuries. I was surprised to see the number of guys who did not make the trip for Washington. We knew LeVar Arrington wouldn't be coming and Mike Barrow. What really frustrating for Barrow, who went to the University of Miami, who's a veteran linebacker and has never played back in Miami again as a pro football player.
That's amazing.
It's never worked out. Chris Clemens didn't come down. Rashad Bauman missed from the defense. And on the offensive side, McCants didn't come. Fred Baxter's not here, and Mike Sellers. Well, the pass rush got him that time, didn't it? Derek Pope again. That blitz.
They caught him with a little bit of a stunt here. Cooley engages. Your tight end also got hooked up, Robert Royal. Miscommunication between your 2 tight ends, Cooley and Robert Royal.
That's the unkindest hit of all when they hit you from behind the blind. You can't see it.
Defensive guys don't care where they hit you, Frank.
Now, what do offensive linemen say to the quarterback who've allowed after allowing that?
You don't say anything. You pick them up and say, I'll try better next time.
Fair catch called and made at the 10-yard line. So the Dolphins will get it back there. And again, lousy field position for Miami. It's been the story all night long in this preseason game. And that's why the Redskins have got a 17-point lead with time almost out in the third quarter. There's an American flag up on that moon somewhere. What a night in Florida. They said we had a chance of thunderstorms tonight, possibly, but if they're going to hit, they're going to hit much later. Isn't that beautiful?
You know what is amazing to me? In '69, we sent a man to the moon, right? And think about this. A wireless phone call, you can never start and finish without it cutting out or think about that.
That's right. We sent a man to the moon. You can't get your cell phone to work. All right. Let's see what the Dolphins do here. They've got Sage Rosenfels in at quarterback, so Fiedler's done for the night. Sage is celebrating. His wife gave birth yesterday to a baby girl, so he has a boy and a girl. Her name is Ava. He's very, very proud papa. He was drafted by the Washington Redskins. Yes, he was. He played for the Redskins. 4th-round pick of the Redskins in 2001. He was traded to Miami in August of 2002.
And you and I should know how he feels as the proud father of a daughter.
Yes.
With you having 3 and me being the proud father of 3 daughters.
Girls, they're the greatest. Sage is back. He's got the pass complete out here in the near flat. Doug Eastlick. You know, the Redskins tonight, before we go into this 4th quarter, very, very efficient. Very good, clean game.
This is the end of the third quarter.
This is the end of the third quarter, and I'll tell you what the numbers say when we come back to start quarter number 4. Redskins have dominated from start to finish here for the first 3, and they lead 17-0.
Welcome back to Pro Player Stadium. The Washington Redskins lead the Miami Dolphins 17-0. You're looking at Ray Brown, a former teammate of mine, but even more interesting than that, Frank, I played in the league for 14 years. I didn't wear a mouthpiece, but if I had, I probably wouldn't have rested it on my ear.
Ken Houston, the Hall of Fame safety, finished his career with the Redskins, told me the mouthpiece was the most revolutionary piece of equipment in football for a defensive player because it allowed him to grit his teeth and deliver a blow.
I must not have gritted my teeth very much because I couldn't wear one. He gave me unbelievable cotton mouth.
Everything gives you cotton mouth.
And the thing about it, the team dentist at the time, Barry Rudolph, he had these things formed and the mouthpieces made, and it used to drive him nuts that I wouldn't wear them. I said, well, Doc, let me think about this. If I get a tooth knocked out or something broke, you get work, don't you? And he started to understand. Then he left me alone. I couldn't talk with that thing. It was like somebody had somebody.
And you have to call signals as a center, right?
And you got to talk junk. You know, a lot of junk talking goes on the line.
Oh, I didn't realize that. Here's the punt. Gary Scott is waiting for it. Should get good field position. He's got it to the 34. Let's see what he can do with it. He can get out of bounds with it. I mentioned before the break, 51-yard punt, 5-yard return. Scott gives him field position at the 41-yard line, and let's see. Redskins lead 17-0. I think Patrick Ramsey will be back out. Statistician Kelly Elvin made a point with me a few minutes ago, and the Saab third-quarter stats pointed out what a clean, nice game the Redskins have put together. Look at the rushing and passing yards, 131 to 120.
Balanced
That's just
attack.
a great balance. 16 first downs, third down conversions 9 for 13. Time of possession 31 to 13. Other stats: no sacks, no interceptions, no fumbles lost, and only 3 penalties. That's a pretty good performance. 3 yards on that carry on the run.
Can you imagine being Dave Wanstead? Your top receiver coming into the season blows out his knee.
Yeah.
Your top running back, who has carried the ball over 750 times the past 2 years,
has social issues.
All of a sudden quits. You've got cornerbacks that are starting that were signed last Monday. You ever heard of Murphy's Law?
What are you going to do? What are you going to do? The Redskins are going to run it with Cartwright again. That's what they're going to do. And he's got the outside, and he's got the first down.
They ran the sweep again. When we see this replay, watch the center. Watch Corey Raymer. Corey Raymer is going to be pulling. Watch, there he comes. They said centers can't pull.
During the run, holding.
63.
Number 52.
Oh, my gosh, they got my guy.
10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul.
That's what he gets for pulling.
You know what? It could have been on 63. There were a bunch of people that had their hands full, literally.
Now, what kind of signals would a center call when he gets to the line of scrimmage?
Well, depending on what it is. Could be a run block call. You know, when I played beside Grimm, we used to, first series or two of the game, whatever calls we had, Ray or Lenny or zone or fan or whatever we were calling, we would call them.
So give me an idea right now. What would you
He's
call?
calling the defense for both sides. The left side can't see what's on the right, and the two have to know what's going on.
Oh, I got you. Here comes the run. Let's see if it works. McCullough this time with the carry. And all he's going to do is get out of bounds.
So you'll have pass protections depending on what the defense does. Say you're in a four-down defense, and your left guard and your left tackle are covered, and all of a sudden they bring a linebacker up to the line of scrimmage, and that is a key for you. And you've got a weak side protection. Well, you're going to fan that backside, and that's what has to be called. And the big thing about
Look at Bugle. Look at that face. You think it's 17-0 in his mind?
Oh, no.
Oh, no. He's steamed.
He is coaching until the last second runs off the clock.
Yeah. I'm sorry to interrupt you, but that picture was just worth 1,000 words. Ramsey's got time. He's got the protection. My goodness, he almost got an interception.
You know what? Anytime you watch a quarterback
Zach Thomas
in the pocket that starts pumping the ball, watch Patrick Ramsey. He sits in the pocket, and you know when he's got that clock that's telling him throw the ball. See him pumping it, see him pumping the ball, that's a bad thing.
He's still not comfortable. Look at Bugle.
You know, they were only 9 for 13 on third down. He wants all of them.
Did you say the linebackers used to know when he got mad in the meeting, your meetings?
Oh, the linebackers and the defensive linemen met right around from where we were. And it's like Kelly mentioned earlier. When Bugle is mad, he's loud. When he's happy, he's loud.
Yeah.
But he was mad a lot more than happy in some of these meetings. And we would come downstairs and Monty Coleman and some of the guys would just look at me like, y'all had a good one today, didn't you?
Yes, we did. Redskins still lead. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to Pro Players Stadium. Redskins lead at 17-0 right now in the fourth quarter. Now, third-round draft pick Chris Cooley out of Utah State led all tight ends in the nation last year in receptions and yards, with 62 catches for over 730 yards. Now, I asked him about his hands earlier this week. He smiled at me and said, I like my hands. Usually when the ball comes, I catch it. Of course, he's going to get to do a lot more of that as the H-back in Gibbs' offense. He's happy about that as well. Of course, tight ends do a lot of blocking, Jeff, as you know that. Guys, back to you.
You know the interesting thing there, Frank? The Utah State wrestling champion.
Really?
Yeah. Wrestling is big for football guys, believe me.
Why?
I was a wrestler. My brother was a wrestler.
Was it one of those things that kept you in shape all year long?
It's because I couldn't play basketball.
Okay.
That was awful.
I knew there had to be a reason. Chris Storner is in at quarterback now for the Miami Dolphins. Just thrown incomplete. Well, let's ask you a tough question now. You've watched the quarterbacks tonight. Has anybody made a move towards being the starter?
I think Brunell has earned his job.
Do you?
I think he is cementing his position as deserving to start against Tampa on September 12th.
Patrick Ramsey just still, to me, doesn't look very comfortable back there. He looked better tonight, but still doesn't look comfortable. Storner out there. He'll throw the slant and threw a bullet. Incomplete. Make it third down and 10.
This is a game that Wannstedt and company would probably more like to forget.
Well, and I think that Redskin fans, before they start buying Super Bowl tickets this year, should keep this in mind, that the Miami Dolphins are banged and bruised up, and they've got a lot of controversy going on down here. The head coach's future is certainly a matter of conjecture down here. So this was not the Carolina Panthers they faced tonight.
And the public relations director, Harvey Green, came in and talked with us before the game. They had 21 people Wednesday that couldn't practice.
Storner again from his goal line. Ooh, he gets hit just as he delivered the ball and hit hard. Ralph Brown coming on a corner blitz. So yes, this defense is crazy all the time.
That's the one thing you're going to notice in a Greg Williams coach defense. You're going to get corner cats and you're going to have pressure.
Oh, he just came in there like a freight train, didn't he? Look at this.
Crystal
Untouched.
foul for defensive pass interference. The ball was uncatchable. Fourth down.
So Matt Turk's got work cut out for him now. He's already standing 8 yards deep in the end zone. And there's a little coaching going on the sidelines. Greg Williams just making sure that Rufus Brown knows what he wants.
We have a Ray Brown, a Rufus Brown, and a Ralph Brown. Brown's a pretty popular color, huh?
Certainly is. Turk's punt is away. Gary Scott is waiting for it. Will get it in his own 49 and lose yardage. We got a flag, 2 flags thrown. And a scramble, and looks like the Dolphins got the ball. They did.
They're going to call a push in the back, and this is a bad call. One of the few mistakes that this football team has made tonight. This will probably be the 15-yard variety.
Danny Smith is going to chew that gum into sawdust. While they're sorting all this out, there's one other innovation I want to tell you about with Joe Gibbs. He's done something nobody else in the league has done. Larry Hill is
During the return, illegal block in the back, number 88, the return team. That penalty is declined as the result of the play is a fumble and recovery by the kicking team. First down, Miami. Timeout.
Well, I'll get to the story of Larry Hill in just a moment. Redskins commit the foul. It's declined. Dolphins have the ball in Redskins territory, but they trail by 17 points. Hey, fans, this football season satisfy your tailgating hunger at Giant. Burgers, hot dogs, snacks, drinks, and much more. Everything you'll need, and don't forget your bonus card while you're there. So stop by your tailgating headquarters now. You got a Giant on your side. Dolphins take over at the 45-yard line.
Young Gary Scott has got to be sick right now from fumbling that punt.
Nobody will stand next to him on the sideline. The run's not going to go anywhere. I was saying before the break, Joe Gibbs hired Larry Hill this year as part of his staff. Larry Hill served 18 years in the National Football League as an official. He was a referee. The last 5 years, he worked in the replay booth. Larry Hill's job on game day is to be in the coach's booth upstairs and to alert the sidelines if a play calls that should be challenged.
Now, why would Joe Gibbs and somebody on his staff that's on the field not be able to determine that themselves?
Because they can't see it. They can't see it from that field angle. They can't see what's going on.
But you're not surprised by this because he never leaves any stone unturned.
He is the only coach in the National Football League to do this year. So Larry Hill is up in the booth, and he's the guy who communicates to the sidelines, challenge it. And he said the only thing that makes him nervous is he doesn't have the replay equipment that the NFL has. He has to rely on television. And he's got to make sure he gets the replay quick enough so he can make the right call. But what a great idea to have a referee who worked the replay system tell you whether or not to challenge.
And the other thing is that Larry Hill coordinates the officials that are at Redskin Park at practice on Wednesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays during the regular season.
And he's having a ball. Back, little screen pass, the first one we've seen tonight, and guess what? It's not going anywhere. Oh, over the top of that was Norman Huer. Dolphins tonight have faced third down 10 times and converted once. That's called defensive domination.
You still don't see Joe Gibbs smiling right now.
No, you won't.
You would think that Joe Gibbs would be excellent playing poker, wouldn't you? You couldn't read his face.
Gary Scott has a chance to redeem himself. He'll do it with a fair catch at the 18-yard line. He holds on. Nice job. You did it. 33-yard punt. 10.5 minutes left to go here in the fourth quarter. Some young players trying to impress some coaches, trying to find a spot on that 53-man roster. Kenyatta Jones is smiling on the sidelines, chewing that mouthpiece. He's a happy man.
You got to call it an earpiece.
He's,
you know, he keeps it over his ear.
He's cemented a job at right tackle in place of John Jansen. I'm surprised, Jeff, to see Patrick Ramsey back here in the ball game with 10.5 minutes to go in the fourth quarter, playing with the third-string guys. Obviously, I guess the coaches are saying he needs more work.
And the one thing that has been constant throughout the preseason, Hasselbeck has been sharp.
Yes, he has. Looks like he may not get a shot at playing tonight. We'll see. Maybe after the series. Who knows? Sultan McCullough again on the run. He has not done much tonight. And he was the team's #1 rusher.
Yeah, we would like to dispel the myth that Joe Gibbs, Joe Bugle, and Don Breaux at birth were joined at the hip. But I'm going to tell you, for years, the three of them stood hip to hip at RFK, on the road, whatever, making decisions for the offense.
That is, according to the truck, that's as far away as they've been from each other all night long. I think that Bugle's starting to stew a little about his backup offensive lineman. Bro's probably thinking about those backs.
I wonder if one of them takes medication, if it works for all three of them.
I wonder, it didn't take Bugle or Bro very long to say to Joe Gibbs, we'll be with you.
Oh, no. And the one thing, I was going to visit with Buggs this morning, and he said, I'm going to be walking in the morning. I said, well, what time? I said, I'll meet you early. He said, I'm going to be walking about 6:15. I said, well, I'll meet you when you finish.
Yeah, that's right. He walked for 3 hours. Ramsey just flat out missed on that pass. Looks like he forced it a little bit. Intended again for Gary Scott. Gibbs using the headset now to communicate with his quarterback. Says 15 seconds isn't enough time. Need more time. Need more time. Ramsey so far tonight, 3 out of 8 he's completed for 41 yards. Hasn't thrown a pick, but hasn't moved the football team either. There's the punt. They're going to let it bounce. Oh, and it'll take a good bounce. Inside the 25, inside the 20. The Redskins have got it surrounded. That was a 60-yard punt by Washington's Kevin Stemke.
That was more like a 35-yard punt with a 25-yard roll. Let's be honest.
There's no asterisks on the score sheet. It says 60 yards.
You know what? Here's your analogy. When you birdie a hole, say you hit a drive and it bounces off a tree, and then you hit a ball into the bunker. You make a miraculous wedge shot or something that goes in the hole. They don't ask you how you made birdie.
That's right. It's a birdie. That's all that counts. Dolphins now going to try to generate something here from their own 18-yard line.
Did you see those numbers that the Redskins defense had put up this night? Tremendous effort. Greg Williams, the entire staff. Joe Gibbs and the offense have to be happy. The only one that might be a little upset is Danny Smith.
But Joe Gibbs will find plenty to complain about. He will not be happy in his post-game press conference. I'll guarantee you that. Well, we played all right, but there's a lot to work on.
You know, all coaches, for some reason, are pessimistic. Early in the year, even my high school coach, you know, he was quoted my junior year saying, "We don't have a college prospect on our team." When I was a junior, our high school had 8 guys sign major college scholars. 8. It wasn't like 1 or 2. He said, "We don't have a college prospect on our team." We had 4 guys that went pro.
They're all that way. I think they're all that way. I think it comes with the territory. That's how you know you're going to be a coach. Whoa. Defender arrived just the same time as the ball. Nice defensive play. Snoop Minnis was trying to catch it.
You'll remember our quarterback. Former Chicago Bear and former L.A. Raider, Vince Evans.
Yeah.
He was our quarterback.
He was the quarterback on the team that didn't have any college
We didn't have a college prospect on our team.
Oh, be darned. It's amazing, isn't it? Garnell Wiles made that play. There he is from Virginia Tech, a rookie.
That is not a wig to give Ricky Williams some solace. Okay?
Yeah.
That's Garnell's hair.
Again, the rush is on.
Watch out.
The pocket. Storner gets it away, but it's incomplete. And again, credit the pass rush for that. Intended for Simmons. Incomplete pass stops the clock with a late 11 left to go here in the 4th quarter.
You've got your defensive line, I think the starters, and maybe a couple of your backups cemented. But the guys that are running around on the field right now, Frank, I really can't see them making the football team.
Greg White puts some pressure on there.
Greg White may be one that's on the edge.
Yeah, because they've got some defensive ends nicked.
They need Phillip Daniels to get healthy.
Matt Turk has had a heck of a night. Punting for Miami. The return. Scott, not much, but he held on to the ball. No mistakes this time. A 4-yard return. Now, will Patrick Ramsey come out of the field as the Redskins quarterback? Yes, he will.
How do you take care of the Gunners? You see when they run out of bounds, you can't hit them. Now you got to track them down. You can't let one guy beat 2 of you downfield.
Then he olays on the tackle. Ramsey is back in the ball game at quarterback.
I'm going to make a bet right now. Ramsey finishes the game. Why would you bring Hassel back in for 1 or 2 series?
Well, it makes sense. That's right. It's a good point. Here goes the run by McCullough. Obviously, the Redskins now would like to run some time off the clock. This is that point in the game where you try to get your regulars out of there. You don't want to get anybody hurt because you got 2 more preseason games to play.
And I can't fathom what it was back when guys had 6 preseason games.
Well, the difference there, Jeff, was you had guys that had regular jobs, would leave the jobs and come to play football, and they needed 6 games to get in shape.
Let me tell you this. The pay thing is what's different. They had jobs because they didn't make enough during the season. 1980, my rookie year. I'm going to let you guess this after this play. How much I earned my rookie year.
Your rookie year in what year?
1980.
Okay. McCullough breaks it out this time. Nice cut, and he's in Dolphin territory. I'm going to guess $63,000.
You're close. $35,000 with a $3,000 signing bonus.
So a whole $38,000.
That was a pay cut coming from Clemson. What a run by McCullough.
And I'm sure the people in Death Valley are delighted to hear that.
Oh, I'm just teasing. You know, they only paid the defensive guys. I don't know what that was.
Yeah?
Yeah. My roommate was on the take big.
I'll be darned.
Yeah. But everybody cheats.
Well, most everybody.
You tell me one college program that doesn't cheat, okay?
Greg Ballard at Oregon State was baffled. He said, I had a 1974 Dodge. Kevin Greavy was driving a brand new Ford.
Here's the better one. When I was at Clemson.
Play of the game, offense, 5-yard penalty, still first down.
When I was at Clemson, the basketball program was on probation. Now, every basketball player had, the company car was a Monte Carlo. Every one of them had them. They were all brand new.
Well, maybe their parents were doing well.
Oh, yeah.
Gibbs now trying to figure out what's the call? All right, here we go. It is first down and 15 for the Redskins. There's McCullough back up over the middle for 3 yards.
I would like to see him run the sweep one more time with McCullough. He's another guy that's got that fifth gear.
He kind of did it on his own 2 plays ago when he broke it outside.
Yeah, but that was the counter play. What happened there, the backside guard and tackle really sealed it instead of kicking it out, and he just read the block and bounced it outside. This is a guy that's got the type of speed that can challenge the edge.
Ramsey just handed the ball off. There goes McCullough. Nice cut inside. He's down at the 35, so it'll be 3rd down and 5. This is the guy who led the team coming into this game in the preseason in rushing. Had a touchdown last weekend of 14 yards.
And not a big guy, but the one thing you notice when he runs the ball, not only his quickness and his speed, he runs with some power.
Got a good pedigree. He's out of Southern California. USC player.
They've had a few tailbacks come out of that school, haven't they?
He's getting a rest now, and John Simon's in the ball game. Got the little backs running behind those little offensive linemen, and he's close to a first down, but no cigar.
And you saw John Simons holding on to Matt Wilson. We talked about it earlier. Joe Washington used to get behind Jacoby. And I don't know what that is about a running back that wants to hold his lineman.
Next week, the Redskins will face Atlanta. You figure in the first quarter they're going to see Michael Vick.
Next week they face the Rams. The following week they face the Falcons. And I would expect that it being the last preseason game, you'll see probably Vick for a quarter. Maybe. The most exciting player in the NFL, bar none.
Short yardage, 4th down situation. There's McCullough. Did he get the first down? He did. Clock is ticking down to just under 4.5 minutes left to go in this ball game. Redskins have dominated throughout, and there's not much for Joe Gibbs to complain about as far as mistakes are concerned. No sacks, no interceptions.
And no first downs allowed by their defense to a rushing first down.
But, Jeff, you know, the other thing is such a relief after the last 2 seasons. No delay of game, no illegal formations, one illegal procedure.
Well, Coach Gibbs used to say this: if we take care of the little things, the big things will take care of themselves.
He must have said something this week that got through to him, because they certainly have cleaned up the mistakes that they made from last week.
The one constant throughout this preseason, which is probably the most rewarding for this football team, having seen what has gone on for the past 2 years, the Redskins' pass protection has been extremely solid for 3 straight games.
Yeah. Now, if you're a starter and you're sitting on the sidelines in the second half and you're being pushed by a younger player, are you paying attention to this game and how he does?
No.
Why?
You don't care. All you can do as a player is go out and do the best you can. You can't control what somebody else, and you certainly don't want to wish anybody bad.
Right.
I mean, as a player, you know, you go out and you lay your cards on the table. You play as hard as you can. Then the other guy comes out and lays his cards on the table. Kind of like the Lenny Friedman and Corey Raymer. You know, both of these guys are going to make this football team. Who's going to be the starter? We'll wait and see. It's like Brunell and Ramsey. We're both going to compete. We're both friends. We're both competitive. We both want to start, but that's the coach's decision to make.
Ramsey going to play this one out. John Simon's going to run on the counter play. Get down close to a first down, but again, it's about 1.5 yards short. Will they go for it on 4th down again?
Joe Gibbs will not kick a field goal here.
Two minutes and 15 seconds left to go. We've got the 2-minute warning coming up, and Ramsey's going over to the sidelines as if they're going to let the clock run down to the 2-minute warning, because it will.
And that's the one thing about Gibbs. The guy is class. You know,
he's not going to run up the score.
He's not going to run the score up on you.
Here's the 2-minute warning.
He knows how to win. He knows how to take defeat.
Well, and it's obvious this football game is over. The fans have headed for the exits. We've got 2 minutes left to play, and the Redskins up 17. The quarterback at rest. He was the starter. He produced a touchdown, played a pretty solid game, and the Redskins 17-0 lead here. Chris Samuels, another one of these outstanding players tonight. We've just gone through the list of guys that we thought stood out. Brunell and Samuels certainly. Player of the game, John Simon. 43 yards rushing, 42 yards receiving. That's pretty balanced. He'll sleep on the plane home tonight. Redskins to the line of scrimmage with 4th down and 2.
He may have just played himself on this football team.
McCullough, he's had a good night as well, but this time he's going to get outside and get run down.
That's the one thing that kills the counterplay, is when your backside tackle gets pushed into the backfield by penetration.
Other guys we've talked about tonight that we think were excellent: Fred Smoot, Clinton Portis, of course, Sean Taylor, who set up the first fumble recovery that set up the first touchdown. Rock Cartwright had a good night again. Marcus Washington has been outstanding at linebacker. Antonio Pierce playing the middle linebacker spot tonight was outstanding.
And we can't just mention one offensive lineman. Their starting 5 was phenomenal tonight.
Yes, they really was. Samuels was good in there. Lenny Friedman, especially in the middle, and you pointed out Derek Dockery. What a guy to run behind. Kenyatta Jones did a very solid job at right tackle.
Except where he puts his mouthpiece. We don't like that over the ear.
No, we don't like that at all. Reagan Upshaw put a little pressure in up there. Joe Salavea.
He's got that nasty look in his eye, doesn't he? You know, I'm reading some of his press clippings. This guy was like a 490-pound bench presser. That's a lot of weight to move.
Last time the Redskins shut out a team in the preseason, almost 4 years to the day, August 19th, 2000 at Cleveland. They beat the Browns 24-0. Miami now running out the clock too. Let's give you a look now at the FedEx play of the game. And here it is, no doubt about it, is it? Clinton Portis, the great running back, up in the air and into the end zone for the Redskins' first touchdown.
Did more damage getting beat on by Randy Thomas than it was running the football.
That's assault and battery right there. Again, the Dolphins line up. 30 seconds left to play in this preseason game number 3 for the Redskins. Out to the 36-yard line. That's short of a first down. It'll be 4th down and 4. Redskins relaxing now. That's just it. That's the last play of the game. They're going to go over and shake hands and head for the locker room and celebrate a little bit. Joe Gibbs unruffled, calm. Going to walk over and say hi to Dave Wannstedt and then head for the dressing room. I talked to Joe Bugle a couple of weeks ago. He said, do you realize what kind of pressure is on you guys this year? Every coach in the National Football League looks at the schedule and says, Washington, a chance to coach against a Hall of Famer. Joe Gibbs. Man, we're going to be ready. Let's go down to the field now where Kelly's standing by with Joe Gibbs.
Hey, Coach, you guys cut down on the turnovers and mistakes, no sacks, no interceptions, and offensively, you really moved the ball.
Well, I was much, you know, we were solid tonight. I felt like we stepped up. We knocked out some of the turnovers and played smarter, I think, and I think we played hard. So I think they had a lot of guys hurt. Miami did. So we'll have to just study the film and see how we did. Lord bless us a good night, because I don't think we got anybody hurt.
Mark Brunell, did he make a statement to you tonight?
Well, I think Mark, you know, we're going to analyze the film, and I think, you know, I think we played solid on offense. We ran the ball a lot. But we'll take a look at it and analyze everything.
And this defense made a pretty good statement. They held them to 18 yards rushing tonight.
Yeah, very, very, our defense has been solid, you know, and played extremely well early and in all 3 games. So I'm happy about that.
All right, thanks, Coach. Congratulations. Coach Joe Gibbs, let's go to a quick break and we'll return. Thanks.